it's Joshua and welcome back to another video. Today in this video we're going to be doing a bit of a magic video and I'm going to be teaching you guys a nice little card thing, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the double lift as you saw in the intro. Also be a bit of a bonus at the end of the video, so be sure to stay around to check that out. Alright, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. So in a double lift we have two main parts. The first one is a get ready, which involves getting a break under the top two cards. And the second part is actually turning over the card. So I'm going to be teaching you 5 ways to get ready and 5 ways to turn over the card. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so for the first get ready, this is probably the easiest one, but also the most obvious one, which I would probably never use. But this is the pushover. So you're basically going to push over a chunk of cards, and you're going to look for 2 cards. Once you have 2 cards, you're going to put your pinky where those 2 cards are, and as you screw up the deck, you've now obtained a break below the top 2 cards. So just running through that again, really quickly. So just push over a little chunk of cards. You see 2 cards, you shove your pinky in there, and you're just going to square everything up, and now you have a break under the top 2 cards. So now for the second get ready, this one's a riffle up, and it looks like this. You just riffle up the back and you grab it and you have a break under the top 2 cards. So going over it very quickly, essentially what's happening here, if you get a nice over the shoulder shot here, so you're going to riffle up until you spy the last 2 cards, and you're just going to drop those 2 cards on top of your pinky like that, and then you're good. Alright, so just up, and now you have a break. This also is pretty obvious and I probably wouldn't use it that much, but a little cover you could do is once you've gotten your break at the back is also just to riffle up at the front. That was really bad, let's try that again. So riffle up at the back, break, and then also riffle up at the front just to make it less obvious so you can do your double. Right, so the third one here looks a bit like this. It's a very simple one, and obviously I now have my break under the top 2 cards. So essentially what you're doing is you're going to need to know this move, just to kind of push the cards in a little bit so there's air in between them. Right, and so you're going to be holding the deck like this, and now when your hand comes over here you're going to squeeze. So you get these nice little airy bits, and using your index finger, you're just going to count off 2 cards like that, and you're going to just transfer it down to your pinky, and now you have a pinky break under the top 2 cards. So just over that really quickly. So as you come over, you grab it and you just count off 1, 2 cards like that. And now you're going to find your pinky and you're just going to slide it in right there. Alright, so the fourth get ready here is a thumb count, which is basically counting 2 cards with your thumb and then transferring the break over to your pinky so you can turn the card over. Alright, so how this works is you're going to start by counting off 2 cards with your thumb. So 1, 2. Once you have that, you're going to push in with your thumb like this, so you get this nice little bow. And that's where you're going to put your index finger. Your index finger is now going to act like a pivot point, and when you push down with your thumb and let go with these fingers, it's going to pop up on this side. And that's how you get your break under the top 2 cards. So just going over this quickly again. So you're going to count 2 cards like this, make a little bow and put your index finger in there. Use it as a pivot point to get your break to turn over 2 cards like so. Like so. Finally, this is the one which I use the most and is probably the most hidden one, and it looks like this. And now I have my break. Essentially what it is you're going to be using your pinky to count off 2 cards like this. Now this is going to be very difficult at first, however you will build up some strength and muscle in your pinky, and so that will allow you to do it very nicely. So if I try and do it with my left hand here, it's probably not going to work very well. Like that. So it will take time to get used to. So essentially all it is just count 2 cards like that, and now you have a break. So if you want to cover it, nice easy way to cover it is just to tilt your hand in like this, and as you do it, you just tilt like this so they can't really see it. And we have our break. Now a lot of people find this move very difficult, so a little thing you can do to help you is you're just going to bevel the cards like this. Right, so you have this nice little bevel which allows you to slide down the edges easily. Now this applies to the thumb count as well. You could put a bit of a bevel there so you could do your thumb count like this. But it's more important for the pinky count that you have a bevel, because if you don't, it's going to look like this and it's not going to be very good. So remember, you must have a bevel like this, and then you're just going to count off top 2 cards and you have a break and tilt inwards. Alright guys, now that we know some get readies to get a break below our top 2 cards, I'm going to be showing you guys ways to turn over the card. So 5 simple ways to turn over the card. So first of all, we have the pickup. So once you have your break under the top 2 cards, you're simply just going to reach over with your thumb to where the break is, and you're going to pick it up. And you can show everyone the card, and then obviously if I snap, the card's changed. So that is the most simple one, and I probably wouldn't use that. So after the pickup double lift, we have a little bit of an extension to it. So rather than just picking it up, you could just drag it over like this, and then just kind of place it and slide your fingers down here, maintaining that break so that you could turn it over easily. So that's another thing you could do other than just picking up 2 cards. So the next turn over here, once you get your break under 2 cards, is you're going to put your index finger into the break at the back, and you're just going to slide it down and turn the card over like this. Right, so once you have your break, let me just show you again. Slide your index finger down the edge, and you're just going to grab here and just flip the card over like that. So this one is acceptable, I guess, and it does look quite decent. So at speed, it would look something like this. Alright, on to our third turnover now. We have the Stewart Gordon double lift. So essentially what this is once you have your break under the top 2 cards, like the pickup double lift, you're going to pick up from the break like this, except you're going to turn over the card like this. Right, so the way we do this is once you've picked it up, you're actually going to have your thumb here slide down the face of the card. Right, so once again, your thumb slides down the face of the cards, and to keep it square, you have your middle finger here to keep it square. And then you're going to push the card in with your thumb into this part of your index finger to keep the card as square as possible. So at speed, you're going to get your break, and you're just going to turn over the card like so. Alright, moving on to our 4th double lift, we have the pushover double lift, which looks like this. So once you have a break under 2 cards, there are 2 ways to do this. The first way looks like this, which is just push over 2 cards like this. And the second way looks like this. So you're going to get your break once again like this, and you're going to use your 3rd finger and your thumb to push over the card just a little bit so you can pick it up. So just going over these. So the first pushover is the hardest one, and I think it looks the best. So once you have your break, you're going to use your 4th finger, and you're just going to push the cards inwards like this. What that does is it gets the air out of the cards so the cards will stick. It will also probably stick to your finger, so you can just open up your hand and extend your 4th finger, and so that will pull over both cards right here, but nice and square so you can turn them over. Right? The other pushover double lift is you're just going to use your 3rd finger, and you're going to slide it underneath like this, and you're just going to push over both cards, similar, but using your thumb as well to guide the cards. This is hard to do slowly, but can look really good when done quickly. Right, so the last one at speed looks like this. It just looks like your thumb is pushing over it. Alright, so our 5th double lift here is the Blane double lift. So what this looks like is you get a break under 2 cards, and it just looks like this. You turn over the card, and you can display it freely and place it back on top. So how this works is, again, you're going to have to get a break obviously under the top 2 cards. You're going to pick up as if you're doing a just pick up double lift, but you're going to do a similar thing with the Stuart Gordon like this, except that this corner here is going to pivot on the meaty part of the base of your thumb. You're going to come here, you're going to pivot out and sort of do a little Stuart Gordon and display the card. You can display it freely here if you like, before placing it back on top, and then it changes. Alright, so now we know how to actually perform the double lift. There's a little tip I can give you. You could actually out jog the card a little bit like this when you turn it over, so that you can get a break easily again by pressing down with your index finger, and what that does is it pops it up like this, and that allows you to just turn the card back over. You can make it nice and big like that and obvious, or you could also do this. You could just have it ever so slightly out jogged like this, just enough so you can create a tiny break to put your pinky back in, just like that. Alright, at the beginning of the video, I told you guys that there would be a little bonus at the end, and so I'm going to hand you over now to one of my friends to teach you the
center double, which pretty much looks like this. And then you slide it out, and then from there, you can show the card, put it on top, and it comes a different card. So, pretty much what you have to do is once you riffle down, you want to hold up these top cards with your forefinger and then slowly get 2 cards from your thumb. You want to be hiding this with the other fingers so the viewer can't see. From there, you're going to pivot those 2 cards like that, and then you can turn it over however you want.
Alright guys, so now you know how to do the double lift. We're going to teach you some applications. So how can you actually use the double lift? So I have a few applications here, so let's get straight into it. Alright, so the first way you can use the double lift is to control a card to the top. So let's say that we've showed the viewer the 10 and we placed that supposedly into the middle. Obviously we've put the top card on top and kept the second from top on top. Right, and obviously we have the card controlled to the top. So just going over that once more. So you're going to perform a double lift. You're going to display the card, and then you're going to place the card back into the center, just like that. And obviously your card is jumped to the top. Right, the next application of the double lift is to change a card. So you could show the spectator we have the 10, and you could ask them to hold it flat in their hand like this. And then obviously you still have the card here, and their card is changed into a different card. Alright, so here's how it works. You're going to do a double like this, and then you're basically just going to turn the card back over and place that top card into their hand. However, there are a few subtleties I can give you to make it slightly more convincing. So first of all, once you've done your double, what you can do is you can pretend to hand it off, right? And then just as they put their hand out, you're going to say, no, put your hand flat. And so that gives you an excuse to turn over the cards, and then you can obviously place that card back in their hand. The other thing you can do is just give them the card, hand it to them, and then just put it straight into their hand like that, so that there's minimal time between you showing them the card and putting it into their hand. Alright guys, so that's the double lift for you. The 5 get readies, the 5 turnovers, the center double, and some applications for the double lift. So I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video, so please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye!